guys? This is Danny with Get to College. I'm back today to kind of talk to you guys about some financial aid. As a senior, I know that this process and this transition from becoming a high school senior to a college freshman sometimes can be overwhelming. So here at Get to College, we want to just, kind of give you these short but straight to the point videos to kind of help you navigate that whole process. So my topic today is college aid. For those who don't know, there are 4 types of aid when we talk about going to college. There is outside and private aid. There's also federal aid. There's also state aid. And today I'm going to talk about one of the 4, which is college aid, okay? And this means the financial aid or the money that you could possibly get from the institution you're thinking about going to. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, like, hey, I don't know exactly where I'm going. Others are thinking, hey, I know exactly where I'm going next year. Well, no matter the case, if you don't know where you're going, if you're juggling 2 or 3 schools at one time, or maybe you do know where you're going, it's a definite, we still want scholarships, right? So let's talk about it a little bit. First thing I want to talk about is what a unique type of year this is. And of course, we're thinking COVID things and how unique that is. Everything's kind of virtual, I get that. But also I'm talking unique when I talk about the ACT, because this is the first year that the ACT has actually allowed students to super score. And for those students who don't know what super scoring, or for those parents who don't know what super scoring is, let me explain what that is. That is when you can take you can take the ACT multiple times. Let's just say I take it 3 or 4 times. They can take the sub scores, the highest sub scores from each individual test I've taken, and get me a new composite score. Now, I'm all kind of calm because I'm trying not to speak so fast, because I have a tendency to do that. But that excites me, guys. And if you are a student, especially a senior or an upcoming senior next year, or in the upcoming years, that should excite you as well. Super scoring is phenomenal. I can't explain the magnitude of it. Now, that being said, let me also say this, that most schools that I've talked to, which meaning if that's a 4-year private school, a 4-year public school, or a 2-year community college, public community college, all of them seem to understand that, everything is kind of shifting over to super scoring. Now, here's what I want you to understand. Some schools have decided that they will super score for admission, okay? And admission only. Other schools have decided not only are we going to super score for admission, we're also going to super score for scholarships, guys. I can't say enough how big that is. So, how do you find out which schools are actually giving it are using super scoring just for admission requirements, and the schools that are using it for admission requirements and also scholarship opportunities? You need to get with your local college recruiter. If you have not reached out to your college recruiter, you are a little bit behind, okay? So we need to understand the importance of that. I said it earlier, I say it all the time. I'm not smart enough to be one of your teachers. They are some of the hardest working people I know, but I'm gonna sound like a teacher when I say this. Your assignment for this week, and there's only like 2 days left in this week, 3 days at the most, is to find out who your local recruiter is. I don't care if you know exactly what school you're going to, or if you're still juggling 3 or 4, get to know your local recruiter at each and every one of those schools. They are the experts when it comes to resources. They are the experts when it comes to all the little opportunities that you might be looking for at that school. It could help you if you're juggling 3 or 4 schools. It could possibly help you sway you one way or another, okay? Now, let's go into scholarships. Now, one thing you have to remember, you have to apply first before you can start applying for scholarship. When I say apply, I mean apply for admission. Imagine this. Imagine a school getting 10,000 freshmen a year and them not filtering those. Just saying, hey, we're going to take these 10,000 students who have applied. We're also going to let all 10,000 apply for scholarships. Guys, trust me, schools want to work smarter and not harder, so they have to filter them. So how do they filter them? You have to get accepted. That's how they start to filter your application. So once you get accepted, you can start filling out scholarship applications. So for my seniors out there who are listening to me or who will see this later, if you have not started applying to college, you are a little bit behind. So we need to get on top of that, okay? Another one of your assignments for this week, not only is to get to know your local college recruiter, but it's also to start applying to those colleges, okay? Now, it only takes anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks for you to get accepted. Once you've been accepted, right? On another note, some schools or some institutions make you apply for each and every scholarship separately. So who knows more about those things? Your college recruiter. So please contact them. They can give you all the insight on what it takes to fill out college applications. Also, you have to understand that they probably have scholarship deadlines, okay? They have deadlines of when you have to have that scholarship application in. So make sure we're talking to our local recruiters. They need to become our best friends. They are the ones with all the insight. They can give you all the info about when those scholarship deadlines are, okay? Now, I've gotten this question a lot in the last couple of weeks. Do all colleges require the Fafsa to give you scholarships? No, they don't. Some require it. I know some schools who say, look, before we give you any type of scholarships, we're going to require that you fill out the Fafsa. I know other schools that say, look, we can give you scholarships and you don't have to fill out the Fafsa. But the only way you're going to figure that out, guys, is you're going to have to talk to each individual institution separately. Once again, get to know that college recruiter. They can let you in on that, okay? Now, what different types of college aid are there? Well, when we started talking about college aid, we talk about merit-based aid and we talk about need-based aid. Now, your merit-based aid, you can kind of look at that like things I've earned. Academic merit is probably the number one thing that people think about when you say merit. Academic merit, that means your ACT scores and your GPA. A lot of schools are going to look at that. But I also will say this, and during this COVID window, a lot of schools have kind of reevaluated how they're going to do academic merit. I know some schools have talked about just looking at your GPA. So maybe you need to figure out what schools are those. So maybe if they're on your list, you can have more insight on that. Once again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but you need to get to know your college recruiter. Those are the people who can help you with the insight, and they have all knowledge and all knowledge of all their resources and how they're doing super scoring and all that great things. Scholarship deadlines, I can't say that enough, okay? So we have academic merit, and I know what you're thinking. Well, I'm not really at the top of my class. I'm not going to be Val. I'm not going to be Sal at the top of my class. That's okay. I'm not going to be star student. That's okay too. That doesn't mean you can't get academic merit scholarships. Schools have those. They also have a ton of other scholarships: foundation scholarships, leadership scholarships, community service scholarships, art, music scholarships. We all know that they give, athletic scholarships. So these are all ways that you can help pay for college, guys. So I want you guys to understand how important college aid is. Another thing that I want to talk about is just is having great time management. You can't prolong or put off or say, I'll do this next week, I'll do it a week after, because you don't want to fall behind. And if you miss a scholarship deadline, trust me, these schools are very strict. Imagine if they let everyone say, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to fill out the application. Can I do it next week? That doesn't work. They would be opening up a can of worms, and that is just not how it goes. So make sure we're meeting deadlines, we're turning in scholarships. We're also asking questions to the recruiters about the Fafsa application. Guys, there's just so much that goes into it, but you're not alone in this. And that's why I keep telling you guys, you need to figure out what schools you're interested in if you don't know, but you also need to figure out who your representative is for that school, because they can help you navigate through this process. And here at Get to College, this is what we do. We can also help you navigate through that process, whether it's filling out the Fafsa because the school that you're thinking about going to requires the Fafsa, whether it's just talking to one of us, kind of going through the timeline together to figure out what is the best route for you. And of course, scholarships are the best route for everyone, right? So that's why you're listening, and that's why I'm talking about it, because we understand the importance of it. So here at Get to College, guys, we want to let you know that we are here to help you with scholarships. I'm going to go back over a couple of things real quick, and then I'm going to sign off. So before you can start applying to scholarships, you need to apply. So if you have not applied, you need to do that. Also, when you apply, you need to reach out to that local college recruiter or figure out who they are and build a relationship with them so you can kind of bounce questions back and forth off of them, right? You also need to ask them about scholarship deadlines, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of schools will have scholarship deadlines. You need to find out if those scholarships require that you fill out the FAFSA or if they don't fill out the FAFSA. Also, remember that schools are super scoring. Are they super scoring for just admission, or are they super scoring for admission and scholarships? Once again, your college recruiter can help you out with that. And the last thing, guys, just be proactive. Don't wait to the last minute. Don't procrastinate. Get things done. It'll make you feel a lot better when things are done and all you're doing is kind of playing, you're kind of playing you're bouncing the ball in their court. Now it's in your court. You do a couple of things, you give it to the school. Now the ball's in their court. They take care of it. They send you a message, tell you what you need to do. That's kind of how the process goes and the transition goes. And that's a healthy transition. You want to be able to know that when you do something, you send it to a school, they received it, they let you know. Don't fall behind, because then you feel like you're the last of the group to do it. You start to sweat a lot. You start to get overwhelmed. Not only do you get overwhelmed as a student, it makes your parents get overwhelmed. Then that's where Get to College also comes in. So we are here through any part of the transition you need help. Okay, guys? I hope this was a very informative video. Please reach out to us on social media if you need us. Myself and the abundance of colleagues I have, we do this for a living. We would love to help you guys if need. All right? Have a great day.